This may be my first time handling the slides here in frame, so I appreciate everyone's patience. Um, and welcome to XR Women. My name is Metaverse Page. I am part of the incredible leadership committee of XR Women, and I'm honored and delighted to be able to introduce Sarah Hill, the CEO of Helium, today, and we will hear about the future of media as medicine. Very exciting. So I will advance the slide. Thank you. Before we begin, I'd like to share that we are recording your avatar voice and text messages, and the messages may be shared publicly. Our avatar etiquette is we ask you to please respect the presenter and audience by controlling your avatar presence. Please mute if you are not speaking. And we love it when you respect our speakers' opinions, which do not necessarily reflect those of XR women and our leadership. Please raise your hands to ask questions, and we invite you to connect with others, collaborate, and help make the future better for all through technology. We love to thank our sponsors and partners here. We are on the Frame platform. Frame is one of our sponsors. We also thank Metaverse, Engage, Serve All, Looking Glass, Ringling College, SCAD, Immersive Learning Research Network, um, Engage, XR Connected, Lighthouse, third pound, 3 pound, third pound game, 3 pound games, AWE, um, AMXXRA, and Better World Museum. Um, if you are interested in being a sponsor or partnership, please reach out to any one of us here in XR Women. And I'm sorry. We'd love to welcome our new XR Women members. Please say hello to the group. We have new members from Australia, the UK, Canada, and the United States. And if anyone is here and would love to introduce yourself, this is a wonderful opportunity. Do we see some hands today? Oh, okay. Well, each day is like a new day, and so I'm glad that we're all here together. And we invite you to please join the XR Women Slack channel. Our new channel is called AI Collaboration, and we look forward to learning together, inspiring each other, and building. And we are excited to show you some really wonderful photo of Julie Smithson, Trisha Blake, and Karen Alexander, who have met up recently in Toronto, Canada. Yay, we love our neighbors and friends in Toronto, and we're always excited to see these beautiful partnerships proliferate and grow. SCAD is Savannah College of Art and Design, and we are excited to tell you about the XR Women Student Chapter who will be having this event. So please save the date. Shapes XR will be an open workshop, and I personally love using shapes, and so I cannot wait to attend this workshop. Please join me there.
Paige, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we actually had some late breaking news. This workshop has been postponed by 1 week. It will actually be on May 9th instead of this Friday, May 2nd. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we will share that information in our Slack and in our newsletter again next week. But it should be really terrific, and I'm so proud of the students in our student chapters for taking the initiative and putting something like this together that can benefit not just them but us as well. We can all learn from it.
Fantastic, Karen. Thank you so much for the update. And I cannot wait for the Augmented World Expo. I hope to see all of our XR women members there. Please join us for the 5th annual XR Women Awards on Wednesday, June 11th from 4 to 5 p.m. and stop by our XR Women Expo booth. We do have a discount for your tickets, and we urge you to go for it because today is the last day for early bird pricing. We really love to have you all join us. And if you have a purple shirt, we invite you to wear it or check out actually our shirts as well on our website. I'm going to wear a vintage XR women shirt as well. And we are seeking sponsors for our XR Women Awards. Please partner with XR Women and support the pioneers shaping the future of XR. We are 501c3 pending, which is a fantastic achievement. We are excited about that. Your contribution helps. XR Women Museum and Gallery here in Frame. We are so honored and delighted to have Splash Mango Juliana Lowe here with us today and invite you to explore Window to Wonder in our museum and gallery. And let us know your thoughts. We love to highlight artists and invite you to check out this exhibit. We have a special each week. We Julie Smithson creates a motivational slide, and the word this week is ignite. Ignite the fire within us and ascend beyond the limits we've known. I would like to read an expert created by Julie Smithson for us today. This slide captures the essence of what Julie believes we all need right now, and I agree. A call to ignite the fire within us and then ascend beyond the limits we've known. Ignite is about sparking that first burst of courage, creativity, and action, whether it's starting a new idea, reclaiming your purpose, or simply choosing to show up fully. And once lit, we ascend. We rise with intention, with clarity, and with momentum. This isn't just motivational, it's directional. It's the journey from inner power to outer impact. So today, please, as you look at these words, ask yourself, what are you ready to ignite? And how high are you ready to ascend? You already have what it takes. Light it up. Woo, from Julie. Thank you. I love that. These motivational messages carry with me each week. So I hope that they impact you and you ignite and ascend today and evermore. On Wednesday, May 7th, we have our XR Women Networking Salon. We invite you to join us to connect with others from around the world to discuss real world applications and impact of AI including ethics and governance. I love our networking salon. And this is a beautiful world created by Karen Alexander. On Wednesday, May 14th, please join us in Engage platform for Shweta Argwal, Augmented Reality Meets IoT, Solving Tech Integration Challenges. I had the honor of meeting Shweta at MIT, and I assure you that this will be an amazing talk. And we're excited that Trish Giannakis will be joining us on Wednesday, May 25th for Revolutionizing Broadcast Media, the Power of XR and AI in Creative Processes. This will be hosted in Nowhere. We will be providing the link. And if you have not experienced Nowhere before, I think that you'll like it. It's a fun, fresh platform. And we are thrilled that Trish will be bringing her creativity, her expertise, and power to share about AI in the creative processes. And thank you for being here today to welcome Sarah Hill, CEO of Healium. It's thrilling to be able to welcome you here at the XR Women's stage today to learn more about the future of media as medicine.
Thank you so much, Paige. I would like to introduce Sarah. So am very, very happy to have the opportunity to do this. Sarah Hill is a 12-time Mid-America Emmy award-winning storyteller. Very, very impressive. She has led successful media and immersive media teams for the past 25 years, most recently as the CEO of Healium, as was noticed. And I'm sure it's a company you've all heard of. It's been in the space for a long time now. So, as a media technologist, Sarah has a handful of patents for biometrically powered media. And her company's mental fitness products are clinically validated in 9 peer-reviewed journals. Her immersive media experiences have been viewed more than 7 million times. Sarah speaks around the world about the intersection of sentient and spatial computing, AI, and storytelling with EEG, heart rate, respiration, and other biodata inputs. Her team has earned honors from the NFL Players Association, Consumer Technology Association, P&G the Innovation Prize, Mass Challenge, and a Hero Award from the International VR Healthcare Association. Sarah's a former interactive TV news journalist for NBC, ABC, and CBS affiliates in Missouri. And she was a National Edward R. Murrow, National Association of Broadcasters Service to America, National Sigma Delta Chi, an award-winning TV reporter. And she spent decades covering the world's trauma in Sri Lanka, Zambia, Guatemala, Indonesia, and Congo. Healium's roots are in virtual travel for veterans. In 2013, way back in 2013, that seems like forever ago now, she built a program called Honor Everywhere that uses mobile, virtual, and augmented reality to allow aging veterans the opportunity to virtually visit their World War II, Vietnam, Korea, and women's memorials. Just an amazing project, which I understand is still going now, and I think we'll hear something about that. So Sarah is married with 2 grown children and 3, she says, if you count her husband, and they have 1 very spoiled grandchild. Helium products are available on Apple or Google Play, and on the Apple Vision Pro, MetaQuest, or on Pico. So I am absolutely delighted to welcome Sarah today. Please join me in giving her a bit of applause. Yay.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Sarah. Yeah.
I love to see so many familiar faces in the audience. So, hello, everyone. I always enjoy nerdy play dates um, uh, uh, with my people, and you are certainly my tribe. And I don't get to spend nearly as much because I've been heads down, forming a company, then getting clinical validation, et cetera, et cetera. But super excited to be here with you today. And I just want to make sure, Karen, if I'm advancing my slides, that you can see them okay. If you just unmute and let me know.
Yes,
So, okay.
right. Yes.
So, what we're talking about today is media as medicine. And, my background as a television reporter, my whole life, I've been telling stories, specifically as CEO and chief storyteller here at Helium. What we've created is healing media. No longer are we just passively watching this kind of media, we're feeling it. And we know all in this room as immersive media technologists that this medium is unlike any other as it relates to the ability to change physiology. This is part of my team. We're based in Columbia, Missouri. This is a group of technologists, not only engineers, but storytellers, data scientists, psychologists, people who are wizards at marketing, business development, product, data protection, and all kinds of things. And as Karen mentioned, my journey in immersive media started way back in 2013, actually a little bit before 2013 with Google Glass, when Google Glass first came out. And we were trying to find a solution for a group of terminally ill and aging World War II vets who weren't able to physically travel on an honor flight to see their memorials in Washington, D.C. Honor flights are free flights in the real world that fly veterans to see the memorial. But sadly, a lot of these men and women are too frail. They're on too much oxygen, and their doctors tell them if they make those flights, that they might die, that their bodies can't handle it. And so, Honor Everywhere is, and it was back in 2013 as well, a free program where we brought these tours to the veterans' bedsides. And since 2013, we've given thousands of tours and thousands more have had the opportunity to experience it through some partners like T-Mobile that have enabled us to give goggles to some of these terminally ill veterans. And now all honor flight hubs all across the nation also have the virtual option, as well as a great many virtual reality companies. And if you go to honoreverywhere.org, you will see all kinds of neurorehabilitation immersive media companies, mindfulness, meditation companies, VR health companies. And it's really great to see all of the different companies, a lot of them, competitors to each other, who've locked arms in order to get this program out to aging vets. We've open sourced it. So you all in this room also have access to those experiences that you could put it on your own platforms. And share it with your own veterans. And I just want to share a little bit about how this works with some of our veterans. This is Joseph Sinclair. Sadly, he didn't have the opportunity to see his memorial. This is a little bit about his story.
Yeah, because we're going to get him over here so he can see.
I mean, it's been 6 months. On this day, we want you to experience the memorial built in your honor. Even if you can't travel to see it in person, Through the magic of virtual reality, we're going to take you there. Thank you for your service. Welcome to your moment.
How was that little vacation?
So sadly, Mr. Sinclair and a lot of the individuals that we gave tours over the years, he passed away just months after he had that opportunity. And a lot of the people that we featured in those films, have passed away. We are in the process of upscaling those videos with AI because they were shot back in 2013 and manually stitched together. So we're excited about relaunching those experiences. You can find them; they're free apps on MetaQuest and also on Pico as well. Just search Honor Everywhere and share it with a local veteran in your life. That process of seeing how those experiences impacted those terminally ill and aging vets led us to realize that media is medicine, and specifically immersive media. People can't naturally self-regulate their brain patterns or their heart rate. And why is that so hard? Well, because it's a muscle they can't always see to know, am I doing it right? So from those veterans projects, we created a product that allowed people to actually see their feelings. So you can try our apps. They're on Apple Vision Pro, iOS, Android in the flat world, and then also on Quest as well. And we're making these environments essentially sentient. And when I say sentient, I mean inputs from biodata. So whether that be from a smartwatch or an EEG meditation headband that's capturing your brain patterns, it is allowing you to turn these experiences with Helium's technology into spatialized assets, and you're literally able to see your feelings. So no longer is media passively something that you watch or even something that you just interact with your hands. This is a new layer of media. I call it human media, that you have the ability to touch the media with your heart rate or with your brain patterns. And here's a little bit how that works. There's magic in this software that animates biodata from any wearable, whether that be a smartwatch, a Muse 2 meditation headband, anything that captures data. Our nerdery has the ability to spatialize that asset and turn it into something that you can actually hold in the palm of your hand. So in the Apple Vision Pro goggles, you can plug in your smartwatch and you can actually see your heart rate and hold it in the palm of your hand. Or with an EEG meditation headband with your brain waves, if you calm your mind, the colors will glow more gold. You have asymmetry in your brain where your brain patterns shift left and right according to your feelings of positivity. It's a brain pattern called gamma asymmetry. And the more your gamma leans to the left, it's associated with feelings of positivity. The more it leans to the right is associated with feelings of negativity. And so you're literally able to see your feelings outside of yourself and see how those brain patterns respond. These environments are sentient. You are sensing them. And these new layers are becoming more and more interactive with that biodata, with more of the hardware devices that are coming out. This is Carter. He's a Helium customer. He wanted something to help him improve his mental fitness. As you know, this is the stress Olympics right now, right? And not all of us have trained for it. And you see what we're doing inside these experiences. You're able to see not only your heart rate, there's a breath pacer that's coming in and out of your nose. And if you'd plugged in an EEG headband, those environments are sentient and they're reactive to you as the user. And we know that this has a huge impact on the user in using this kind of digital media as medicine. So just on a mobile device, even outside of VR goggles, there is great impact in allowing the user to turn their heart rate into butterflies that they can actually see fly around the room. No longer is the media a flat number on their wrist. It's spatial. It's set out into the world, into a solar system that they can actually see and learn to control. And again, they're touching that media, they're feeling that human media with their wearables that are strapped on their wrist or on their forehead, or in the future, any other sensor that's coming out of it. There is data to show that this kind of immersive media has an impact. We all know that immersive media is superior to regular flat media. We know that it changes the brain and downshifts the nervous system more quickly. And when you add those layers of immersion, and when you add those layers of feedback, whether it be heart rate, EEG, in the future, skin conductance, blood pressure, etc., those experiences become more memorable, more engaging, and more effective. So VR absolutely changes your brain patterns. Temporarily, and in these acute stress situations, specifically with use cases like helium, we're seeing immediate shifts. So that's a firefighter's brain immediately before helium, and the red activity is the fast activity or the stress reaction in the brain. And then just 4 minutes after, you can see that relaxation response in a short amount of time. No drugs, right? This is media. This is immersive media, and specifically immersive media with feedback. If you'd like to take a deeper dive into our research, we also link out to other research as well. Mayo Clinic Proceedings just published a study showing helium had significant reductions in anxiety before cardiac surgery. So before you're going into this really stressful procedures, normally you would be looking at the four curtains before you and pondering your own mortality. So, this kind of media as medicine is quickly interrupting the stress response in a drugless way, and also, reducing risk. If you take anxiolytics before procedures like cardiac surgery, there are additional risks that are involved. So very important, what all of you are creating in the room, because it's, not just media, it is absolutely medicine. Also, this kind of media as medicine has use case for sleep, where all of that content is meant to be viewed in a reclined position before sleep. The journal Sleep published a study showing that immersive media outperformed cognitive behavioral therapy for an insomnia and a placebo in reducing insomnia severity index scores. And it had the highest probability of being the most effective treatment based on those changes from baseline. So again, another example of media as medicine. And as a storyteller, what a great tool to be able to place people inside that bedtime story before they go to sleep. Sleepium has been around for several years. And again, you can find all of those experiences on the platform as well. And this is media as medicine. It has changes in the physiology. Content creators also has the ability to do the same thing with that kind of feedback. If any of you all are creating experiences for Apple Vision Pro, we have some APIs and SDKs that use AI in order to allow you to bring that kind of biodata experiences to life and add biofeedback visuals so that, again, these users aren't just passively watching or even passively interacting with their hands, but they're actually feeling the media, and those environments are responding to them. Media as medicine is being used in a lot of areas in healthcare for employee wellness. Schools are using helium, and we'll hear a little bit more about that. Athletes are using helium, and the U.S. military is using helium in areas of acute
We've got the numbers to
situation,
prove that this works.
and
We've
confined
got the
stress.
academic data.
Teachers talk about how they have, the numbers that prove immersive media works. And here's just a little bit more about that.
Is working. When your child is dysregulated, even if they are sitting there looking like they're learning, they're not able to learn. And that the things that we're doing and the tools in the STAR room actually help them come back and be ready to learn.
You're focused, you're learning. It's just like it calms your body, you're relaxed, you just feel better.
It's not the romper room or the rumpus room. This has tools and this has purpose. And most of our students who use it are like Justice, where they can talk their parents right there exactly why it's important.
No, I didn't know they used it like that. I was curious because he has ADHD and he hyper focuses on the things that he likes, like video games and videos and other things. If he's not into it, he doesn't focus on it. So this is great. This is the beach. I don't get the phone calls like, after lunch where we can't get them, refocused and redirected back on schoolwork, can you just come and get them? And didn't get those phone calls anymore once he started that.
Immediately there was a noticeable difference in his body. Yeah, just it like a wave that came over him and just calm.
We knew we had a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Helium is an excellent value in terms of helping young people manage their regulation and their mental well-being.
I would agree. And in a way that students today relate to. I can't tell you the number of times someone said, "Oh man, you have a VR headset." I'm like, "Yeah, you just wait." And they're expecting to play some game, and to actually find the opposite is really liberating for students.
And to give them that body awareness, again, that they understand that when they put that VR headset on, that their whole body is going to relax, and they know what's coming, and they know how they're going to feel, and they want to do it again.
There's positivity ones, focus, mind fluentless one. So many to choose from.
And I was sharing with them that at the beginning of the year, and Becca knows this, he would completely shut down and not speak. I had to teach him sign language just to get him to communicate. So going from sign language to sitting in that room and explaining every last detail that's worth it.
And that's why we do it.
That's why we do this.
So just a little bit more, about using media as medicine. And to wrap up here, because I want to answer any questions that you might have. This is the stress Olympics, right? And not all of us are trained for it. This is a mental health emergency, and all of us have the ability to create this kind of media that impacts physiology. It can quickly downshift the nervous system in as little as 4 minutes. There are API and developer tools that can enable those heart rate integrations, and also the ability to see how your media impacts physiology in some of those tools. There are more than 100 million wearable devices that are currently capturing data, and third-party research, our research, all kinds of research shows that this kind of media has impact. And when you add that feedback, it has even more impact. So yes, for Carter, this is the stress Olympics, but fortunately he has this kind of media that is being used as medicine, and he's trained for it. And he knows that his thoughts have power. His heart rate has power to control things, not only in the virtual world, but in the real world as well. So that's just a little bit about how we're using media as medicine, and happy to answer any additional questions that you have.
Wow, that's amazing, Sarah, that you are changing people's lives with media and technology and improving their lives, which is what technology should do. That is certainly what I believe the purpose of it is. And just the work that you've done is so impressive and so valuable. So thank you very much for this work.
Well, it's my pleasure. And I have a phenomenal team. Our team of creators is super amazing. So I hope you have the opportunity to bump into them as well.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we've got ample time for questions, and I have some myself, but I'm going to hold on to those for a moment because I would imagine there are some folks in the audience who also have questions. So there is a button at the top of your screen if you're on your computer that you can press that to get into the queue, and someone has done it already. It looks like I see Laura Kusamoto first.
Hey, Laura, it's great to see
there, Sarah.
familiar faces and yeah, talk about pioneers, Laura. You've certainly been doing pioneering work there.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to be among them here in XR Women. And really, your presentation in any medium is amazing. Sarah, I will just want to tell everyone the first immersive summit I went to, your presentation made me cry. So your presentation about the honor flights and the video that you did, I was in tears, and I was not the only person there because that was a veteran-oriented conference. So thank you for making us cry for good reasons. But I do have a question for you.
Sure.
I've been thinking a lot about just kind of the very relative forms of immersion that we have. You know, in a way, right now we're in an immersive medium, but we're also sitting in we're not necessarily in headsets. You've done a lot of work here with VR, with MR, with video, with other kinds of storytelling. And I wonder if you could expound a little bit more on the role of immersion in the kind of data that you're seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we study a lot flat 2D media versus 3D and also 360 experiences to see how it impacts physiology. We have a very unique data set on how it impacts brain patterns and heart rate. And then we're crafting these experiences to try to optimize them on the basis of brain patterns and heart rate. So we know that immersive media is more engaging, they watch it longer, and it's more memorable. Now, for the user, that's the impact. Now, for the storyteller, telling immersive media stories is very disconcerting, and I'm sure all of you in the room would agree, because for the storyteller inside an immersive media environment, there is no frame, right? The viewer can be looking anywhere around the screen, and that storyteller, who for their lifetime may have had control of the frame in directing people where they were going to watch in a fixed frame environment, suddenly that's been upended and they can look anywhere. And so, you really have to change your storytelling in order to guide the user through individuals walking across the screen or objects to get them where they want to look. So certainly, in those layers, it's easier to tell a fixed frame story, incredibly difficult to tell an immersive media story because of the immense amount of real estate in there. But ultimately, I see immersive media, it's different layers. And just as we don't differentiate now between a still image and a moving image, it's all just media, it's going to be the same for immersive media. And, Apple Vision Pro, Quest have already, Pico, Vive pushed the boundaries of that, in that what is the ability to toggle between those different layers. It used to have to take off your headset and, look at the media on a mobile device. Well, now you have pass through and, you tap the side of your headset or, dial the digital crown, and you have the ability to have that layers of immersion in the palm of your hand. And so I think going forward that we'll see that line blur incredibly between 2D media and immersive media.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer, Sarah. The next question is from Dot Cannon, and after her will be Natasha.
Hi, Dot.
Let's see. Let me see if I can unmute you, Dot. And I am not able to do. Oh, yeah. I think you're going to have to do that yourself, Dot. I did put on your megaphone.
While she's doing that, if you'd like to take a deeper dive into research to see some of those comparisons of 2D versus immersive and 2D versus immersive versus adding feedback, like from Apple Watch, Samsung Galaxy Watch, or EEG headbands, it's really fascinating. And one input that we didn't talk about that has a really great future in media and medicine, and I know the good folks at OVR are not. I'm not sure if they're around anymore, but is aroma. Aroma impacts the brain far more greatly than any other input, and we've done a research project on that with Lavender and some institution as well. Go ahead, Dot.
That's great. Yeah, and if Dot, you can't unmute. Oh, I see she's put her question in the chat. Sorry about that.
Can you read that for us, Karen?
Sure, I'd be happy to. She said that you referenced creating our own content. If someone isn't already a content creator, where do they start to create their own content with Healium?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with generative AI, right? So you have the ability with prompts, in the future, and to create any kind of content. We all know that AI has completely upended storytelling and content creation in good ways, right? And democratizing that access. So, would love for content creators to reach out to us, and we would love to give you private access to these tools. But if you have existing content, it can be new content in not only adding biofeedback integrations to it, but also generating new audio stories to go with that content, or visual stories as well. Everyone is a content creator in this day and age. And, with that acceleration of AI, and then with Healium's tools that add that biofeedback integration, third-party content creators have already hosted their content on our site. There's a great company out there called Flow Meditation that I'd encourage you to look at. They've hosted their content. Their content is on our Apple Vision Pro apps, our Quest apps, and Pico apps as well. Flow is able to get data, right, on how that particular content impacted physiology as it relates to EEG brain patterns and heart rate, and also get Healium scores as well that tell them how that particular media impacted the physiology. And so don't let that be a barrier. The fact that you don't have any content in today's day and age, content can be created.
Great, thank you. Awesome, thank you. Natasha, I think, is next in the queue.
Hi, Natasha.
Hello, hi Sarah. Thank you for this. It's so amazing. I'm wondering, with enterprise, have you got any success stories where you've, made this available to a larger group of people and they've actually used it? Because I was wondering, what the take-up rate would be, trying to give staff these tools for health and well-being within the workplace, but do they really utilize it? And also, how have other companies handled the issue of getting everyone headsets or access to headsets?
Yeah, that's a great question. And as an answer to your question, they're using the hell out of it. And when I say that, so much so, we had one of our enterprises just this week that they're using it so much that like every hour of the day with their particular clients. And when you do that, the goggles aren't designed to be used in that manner. Like they're not designed to be used from 8 in the morning until 6 at night continuously with no breaks, right? And so, what you're finding is that, these enterprise use cases are so much heavy use that they're wearing out the goggles. And so, we've routinely had to replace goggles for the enterprises because, they've overheated. And certainly, if you're using them for 8 hours a day, obviously, those goggles are going to overheat. But huge uptake in the enterprise market and specifically for the data. There are lots of mindfulness and great mindfulness and meditation apps out there, but what's unique about our offering is that we're giving you quantitative data on how did this experience change my brain? How did it shift my heart rate? What is my team's score in doing these experiences? And that's something that's kind of missing from some mindfulness and meditation experiences is, am I doing it right? How do I know I'm doing? I think I feel better. Do I think I do? Do I feel better? And we're actually giving you scores and your own biometric data that you can actually track over time. Obviously, to your third question about getting the goggles in the hands of the enterprises, that is our part of our job as a company. We are ambassadors to get, pardon my French, but more asses in glasses, right? That they can experience it because it is, superior. Immersive media is superior to flat 2D media. And so once you educate them about the value proposition, you educate them about the value of that quantitative data, and how it makes experiences more memorable and more engaging when you're not just passively watching it, you're feeling the media. Then that's how we get more individuals in goggles, is by educating them about that value. Also, too, by getting as many apps on those goggles as possible. We routinely partner with other companies that also have interventions, whether it be related to mindfulness or meditation or rehabilitation or all of the wonderful products that are available in the goggle. The more apps that you can put on that goggle, the better. Because you want them to be using those goggles as much as possible, not just on your apps, but other apps. So it's that partnering is super helpful.
Thank you. So are you saying that if an enterprise goes with your solution, you provide the headsets? It's not like and then you have like a library of third-party wellness apps, but you sort of incorporate all that information and the feedback, the biometrics and all of that. You're like a layer on top of that, and could we also push it out through our MDM to our existing fleet of headsets?
Yes and no to some of those questions. We bundle our products together as a kit. We're hardware agnostic for virtual reality goggles, whether that be Apple Vision Pro or Meta Quest. or Pico. Our software is sold with the goggles. You also get concierge level support. And we also put other apps on our goggles as well. In addition, we also partner with other apps out there to add Healium onto their apps, and they use it as an upsell. So, they're making additional money, and then we get referral fees from that. So it's both. And then we also have APIs and SDKs that you can use in your own apps to add those biofeedback, neurofeedback integrations, along with scores on how that particular content impacted the user's physiology. So you can either just use our digital tools to add the feedback in your own app. You could add our app onto your app. We love to play in the sandbox with other companies in a variety of ways. So we can give you the tools, or help you out with some of that content. We could also host your content as well. You have an experience that you would like to add, and maybe it's a mindfulness and meditation experience. Then if it was uploaded to the Healium platform, then you would have those biodata integrations, and you'd also have that data to know how it's impacting users' physiology.
Okay, so we couldn't push Healium through our MDM.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah,
we could. Okay.
Yeah, we could have an arrangement where you have a side-loaded APK that you could upload to your Manage XR, Arbor XR, et cetera, whatever MDM you use.
Okay, thank you. Sorry I took up so much time.
No, you're good.
That's great, Natasha. Thank you so much. Jenna, I saw that you had your hand up. Do you still have a question? Yeah.
Oh, actually, Natasha, in some of your follow-up questions, you answered kind of what I was wondering. A lot of the times I get a question asked with Lighthouse XR where people say, "Well, why would I buy, your headset, or why would I, buy your kit?" Like you were saying, Sarah, when I could just buy an Oculus for $400, and I know that every CEO or every small business owner has their own different response. So Sarah, I'd like to know what you would say when somebody says, why would I just go ahead and buy Healium when I could just go buy Oculus, and instead of using the suite that you provide, I could just find whatever I'd like to use.
Yeah,
I get that question asked a lot.
Yeah, it's a great question, Natasha. And Lighthouse, by the way, definitely check out what Lighthouse XR is doing. They're doing phenomenal work already in using media as medicine. And so to me, we have different licenses and tiers. Our consumer tiers, you can absolutely go to a retailer or any place that sells VR goggles now, get a Quest or Apple Vision Pro and download the Healium app and use it as a consumer. For an enterprise, our enterprise licenses have not only concierge level support, and for an enterprise, you need support if you are trying to, get these goggles integrated in your system. That requires training, and we operate off of a train the trainer model. We have Healium's VR kindergarten, essentially, which is a class that people take in order to learn more about how to use these particular devices in their enterprise. And then to your question about, well, they can just go and get it. There are different features that we have in the app for the enterprises as it relates to screencasting, as it relates to greater access to their data dashboard and adding different users to their data dashboard that they can track their entire team over time, and different enterprise level features. So yes, a regular consumer can absolutely go out and get a kit, but for those enterprises, they really do want it for them on a stick, if you will. And they also don't want you on their Wi-Fi systems. So, that's a struggle for a lot of companies in specifically data-driven companies, is that, how do you deliver an offline product and still provide the user the data? And, there are ways around that, and that there can be periodic, connections to Wi-Fi in order to get that data. But that's how we see enterprise and consumer, and that line between enterprise and consumer is blurred, specifically in the aftermath of the pandemic. Because what is an enterprise? It's a collection of consumers at home, sometimes, right? With some of these workplaces or enterprises. We do have offices and clinics that use helium, but that line has definitely blurred. And we also find that people discover us at their enterprise, at their clinic or school or other area, hospital, other area of stress, and then they can purchase helium for home use. So there's a lot of B2B to C going on right now.
Thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of us are deployment, and specifically Wi-Fi deployment, and that separation. I hadn't heard it said that way. Customer versus, consumer versus business, B2B or B2B2C. Thank you.
Yeah, because on whatever MDM that you use, the enterprises, you can't really distribute those through the app stores.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting problems. And this makes me think of, so the sort of question that I wanted to ask you, Sarah, this is Karen again. So you are a veteran of this industry, and you have, you started out one way, and you've expanded tremendously in the capabilities of your company and what you have to offer. You've gained an awful lot of experience, and I'd just kind of like to ask you to reflect on the state of the industry, sort of how far we have come, because I think sometimes we forget, because we all want everything to be further along than it is. But when we look back, I think we might start to realize how far we have actually come. And the fact that we can be having these kinds of conversations here says a lot. But I don't know. I would like to hear your perspectives on the industry from someone who has been in it for a very long time.
Yeah, and we all remember the days when we were creating content for a cardboard box, right? We've absolutely come a long way. And, there are challenges along the way. In the early days of the industry, I'm sure you all remember the VR winter, where fundraising, basically died down. And then came the pandemic, and then came the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, and then came tariffs. Like, these immersive media companies, they've endured a lot, and keep going, which is truly remarkable. And I think the success of immersive media companies is also paralleled with the devices, right? Because in some ways, in the early days, you see the Samsung Gear VR there. We all remember that. Whenever anyone brought their hand up to adjust their goggles, the experience shut off, right? Because they had a touchpad on the right-hand side. So, little things like that. Each iteration, that Oculus Go, which, was really one of my most favorite goggles. I wish they made a version of that that was as portable and as useful, as comfortable, quite honestly, as well. And now with Apple Vision Pro, the fidelity, the ability to touch the media with your hands, and having that unique ecosystem of Apple Health, Apple Watch. The devices are getting better, and now they're being added to existing ecosystems that we're already familiar with. and existing mobile devices that we all have in our pocket, the friction is getting less and the content is getting better. And so I'm super excited about its use case again as it relates to medicine and using media as medicine in healthcare. One of the things that we all, I'm sure, as owners or creators of immersive media or AI companies struggle with is the fact that the hardware manufacturers, in a way, they have to come out with new products every other year for their business model. And, they are improving them. And, we're so grateful that they're improving them. But, these immersive media companies need another platform or a new SDK to develop for, like they need a hole in the head. And so it's, small companies struggle in constantly coming out with new versions for all of these different goggles. And, for us, we really had to laser focus on the best ones that are out there and just focus, on our abilities to, maintain our apps for some of the most easiest to use devices. So I'm, super excited about, all of the new devices that are coming out that make it lighter. And, what we hear from enterprises over and over again, and I'm sure you hear this as well, it needs to be plug and play. It needs to be, I power it on, I put it on my face, and I'm instantly somewhere else. None of this, I have to log in, I have to do any kind of clicks or whatever. No. Here, put this on your face. And so I hope that the hardware manufacturers really listen to that, because some of the iterations that have come out recently, specifically with Quest, have taken those strides in reducing friction for enterprises, and they've added more friction. The inability to turn off boundaries for these, use cases, in some of these areas, these are disabled individuals who are using these in seated stationary positions. They should absolutely have the ability to toggle off, boundaries. Simple things like that, some of the hardware and changes specifically with Meta Quest have been, have hurt people who are selling into enterprises. But I'm confident that, hopefully they're listening to that feedback and can take away more of that friction.
That's great. Thank you so much, Sarah. We are at the end of our official time. I want to acknowledge that Caitlin Krause had to leave, but she left a question in the Slack. And so we are going to, in a moment, end the live stream. But before Julie does that, I would like for us all to thank Sarah for an amazing talk and for all of the really good work that she is doing in this space. Thank you so much for coming to XR Women and sharing your knowledge and expertise and experience with us.
Absolutely. Hope it's not goodbye. I'm rooting for each and every one of you. I'm in your corner, and keep going.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we're all of us who are here, we're in it so deep. I don't know if we're going to be able to get out, but yes. So Julie, if you haven't done so, you can go ahead and end the live stream. I'm going to all kinds of thanks coming in here. I'm going to read Caitlin's question, and if you have time and can stay a moment to answer that, I'm sure some of the rest of us would be interested to hear what she had to say. She was asking about first person versus third person perspective in the storytelling and views on impact on well-being. So yeah, do you have anything to say to that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And Caitlin, she's doing amazing work. Definitely check out her work as well. And so I don't have any data on first person versus third person storytelling, specifically immersive storytelling, but I can tell you as a a storyteller, specifically in the flat world, when you told something through the eyes of another, that you created empathy, a unique kind of empathy, that made those experiences more memorable. I don't have any physiological or quantitative data to back that up on first person versus a third person storytelling, but I do know that it's a great tactic to tell those stories through the eyes of the eye, the first person view. And certainly with Helium, those healing stories, those are, you are floating through these magical experiences as if you were there. So it's a great point, and I'd be curious to know if anyone else has seen any research about first person versus third person storytelling in the future, maybe, if you find it.
Maybe in the future, yes. Let's hope someone's doing that research.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So, did anyone else have a last question for Sarah? I know she's very busy, always working very hard, and has a lot to get back to. But maybe she'd be willing to ask one more question if anyone has one.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you de-stressing? Asked Juliana Lowe, aka Splash Bingo. How are you de-stressing?
Hello, how are you doing, sweetheart? Love your work. Huge fan of your work as well. So I use my product, right? And for founders of companies, you really have to make sure that you have good mental fitness and mental health hygiene, and surround yourself with a community of support that is wrapping your arms around you when you need it. So yeah, stress is like smoking, and it can really have an impact on your mind and also on your heart as well. So super important that you surround yourself with a variety of tools, not just Helium, like any mindfulness and meditation hack, tool, or app that you have. You need not just one, you need all of them. Specifically what's going on in our world right now. It is a mental health emergency.
Yes, absolutely. And I love what you said about having that community to put their arms around you. And I'm kind of choking up here now, because that's kind of what we do here at XR Women. And we support each other, we sustain each other, and it means a lot to have this community. I saw somebody briefly put their hand up, but it disappeared too quickly. So I don't know if anyone else had a question. And again, I know everyone, including you, Sarah, needs to get back to work.
Well, thank you so much. A delightful nerdy play date, as I always say. I really hope to bump into all of you. Keep going, my friends. You're building the future, and what you're doing is absolutely important.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. And I will be excited to see you at AWE.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see everyone.
Okay, take care and keep up the good work that you're doing.
As well. Thank you for the opportunity.